So this is something I noticed when I heard you. I listened to your conversation with Jidion, and I enjoyed it because I think you guys are very good in contrast. But do you agree with this? Do you believe that perception is reality?
Yeah.
Okay. When I watch you speak, you know what I think? I think that you believe that your perception is reality, and that you're convinced that the way that you view the world sometimes is so accurate that irrespective of what other people are saying, you're like, no, I already know. Which is why I think at one point during your conversation with Jidion said to you, yo, before the person's even done speaking, you're like,
But you say you're not listening, Sneako.
I'm listening.
No,
but
you're
I don't
not.
think
You're
you should
not
feel
listening.
bad.
Sneako, you already have what you want to say in your mind, and you literally said this in your video. I've literally heard you say this clip. You say you don't listen to what people say. You go on and assume what they're gonna say, bro. You know how many clips on TikToks I've seen where you assume what the girl was gonna say, but then she says something different. You're like, oh shit, I was not expecting that.
and when he called you on that, you said, yeah, because I already know what they're going to say. And 95% of the time, I'm right. And then Jidion comes back to you and he says, no, you don't actually know what they're going to say. You were wrong a few times. Me and hearing you, a lot of your conversations, I noticed it's the same thing when you had your conversation with Don. It's like, I think you're not listening nearly as well as you believe you are. And as a result, when you're having these conversations with these people, it feels very disconjointed. It feels disconnected. And I think there's one thing that you said that I thought was really peculiar. I think Jidion says, you got 2 ears, 1 mouth, speak less, listen more. And your response was, but we're streamers, which made me laugh.
You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen more, speak less.
Okay, we're streamers. We talk for a living.
Yeah, we talk for a living and stuff like that. Like, that's obvious. But you can let the person finish what they're saying. Bro, but you know, like, I mean, I'm not like.
I think streaming is dope. I think you get up online, you talk for hours, you go through a bunch of stuff. But because you speak at such lengths and you don't have nearly as much time to take in information, sometimes I just talk. You're not making much sense.
Okay. I had this series. You've seen the 1 Minute Podcast before, right, Abba?
Yep.
I have interviewed people in the street. You've done street interviews for a long time too. The general realization that I've come to from interviewing people, and I listen to so many people. Like every 1 Minute Podcast, I do it once a week, is like 3 hours long. And I talk to so many normies getting off the train every single day. I don't interrupt them, I let them talk. After years of doing it, years of street interviews before that, what I've come to realize is most people don't think. Most people just believe what they're told. Most people accept the reality that's in front of them. And the reason why I think that I can predict people quickly is the general idea that people trust the elites too much. People trust what they're told too much. And they put faith into people who have power, and you shouldn't, because they don't care about you. So everyone is virtue signaling. Everybody has this false empathy. Everyone has a false idea. And my conversation with Jidion was annoying because he's defending people that are silencing him. He got banned on Twitch and he's still defending the platform that banned him. Like, why are they censoring him? Like, people never think about that. Like, I talked with Destiny, another debater. He got banned on Twitch too. And he's like, well, I said some bad things. I'm like, you should be fighting against that. Freedom of speech is dead. You know what they promote on Twitch? Hot tub streamers, simp behavior. They want to have men just go, ugh, and feeding all their money to this platform and taking away their power.
I think you're conflating two things. I think you could look at Twitch and say they do some fucked up shit, and also recognize the ways in which your behavior contributes to a negative situation. This is just like any relationship that you have. You could say that your partner cheated on you and that they were fucked up in that relationship. You could also look at your own behavior within that relationship and say, you know what, I was neglectful. I didn't listen to my partner. I didn't treat them really well. Two things can be true at the same time. Jidion could have been wronged by Twitch, and Jidion may felt that he owed Pokimane.
Okay, why do you think
both those things can be true?
Why do you think he felt like he owed Pokimane an apology?
That's for Jidion to know.
But
that's none of my business.
What do you think?
To be honest with you, I didn't even look up the situation that deeply. So I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know what exactly he said. I know he said some stuff off the cuff and that she feels up to. I don't know that. So I'm not going to speak on that. But as a man, if I say something about somebody else and I don't like what I said, and I said it publicly, I'll apologize publicly. Not because somebody else told me, not because YouTube's breathing down my neck, because I feel like I did something wrong. Part of being a man is being accountable to yourself. And that means that you showcase that accountability outwardly. So if I say something about you, right, even if you don't call me out, even if you don't demand an apology, I'm going to still come out and say, you know what, yo, last week I fucked up. Right, I was talking about Sneako, and I said some shit that I think is foul. Even if you're like, yo, it's not necessary, I'll still apologize because it's in me. You get what I'm trying to say? I think it's very great for so many people to look at themselves and be like, I was wrong, and we need more of that because too many people get up on these platforms and always talk about others. Oh, women are trash, women are trash. Nigga, you live in your mom's basement and you ain't showered in a week.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants to. Everybody's talking about others. Oh, the other gender's the problem. Oh, they're the reason why I don't get it. No, it's you most of the time. 95% of the time, you're the problem.
That's why I have these conversations.
I will not get on anybody who gets up on here and says, you know what, this is why I fucked up. And I want to hold that on me. You get what I'm saying? It's too much. It's too much everyone else. It's not enough looking inward. So that's what I would say about that.
I agree. Chad is saying that you're kind of you ride the fence a little bit. I think Playback does the same thing. I think a lot of commentary channels, they want to go red pill, and they decide to take, like, if they make one red pill video, they'll balance it out by doing like a woke video in turns so that you have more mass appeal. Do you think that's what you do?
No, but why do you think that's what we do? Why do you think that we're doing that?
To get a wider audience and so that you don't get canceled.
Right. I understand the intention that you're putting behind. I understand like the mentality. Why do you think that we're doing it? What have you seen from us that convinces you that we're being disingenuous?
I don't know about disingenuous, but yeah, look.
Well, that is what you're insinuating, which is fine. Why do you think that?
Maybe it's not intentionally disingenuous, but maybe you are trying to appeal to everybody, and you're trying to, like, in my opinion, red pill is just the truth. Like, I feel like there's no doubt in my mind that what's really going on, about the gender war that's going on, about the spiritual warfare, about what's really happening in the world, and then you'll make some videos that kind of like tote the line. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And Playback, like, I talked to Agent, and like whenever I say that, like, they'll make a red pill video and then immediately make a woke video, and then he laughed when I said that. Which if they laughed, then that's how I know it's true.
Okay, that's a wild reach, but I get what you're saying. I would say to you, maybe I don't understand this. Why is it that because I agree with some of what you say, because I don't agree with everything that you say, I'm inherently disingenuous, or I'm coming at this from like I'm trying to appeal to a group? Well,
at the same time, I'm behind. I need to catch up on your videos. But what's your take on the manosphere?
Okay. Hypothetically, even if it's not me, all right. Let's say you're not talking about me. Let's say you're talking about Playback. Yeah. Is it not possible that Playback agrees with certain things within the red pill community, but not everything?
Maybe. I think a lot of people are brainwashed and people don't want to fully agree with someone because it's provocative and because you come off aggressive. So this is a general take I hear from a lot of people who watch my videos or watch Fresh and Fit or the Manosphere stuff. Andrew Tate, any of that, they'll say like, oh, I agree with some things, but not everything. But in my opinion, it's just the genuine. How often do you hear that? I agree with some stuff, but not everything.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Because it's just people's way, I think, of inserting their opinion. And it's just
okay. So here's a hypothetical. Right? Okay. I am not a religious person whatsoever. However, I do think there's some aspects of religion I think are really good. Okay. Be it the idea of that they formulate good communities, that they commune everybody together for Sunday church, just so people spend time together, that they give people a set of certain values, be it like love your neighbor, this and that. But when they talk about shit like stoning gay people, I'm like, maybe you lose me. Okay. Or when they talk about certain shit like, you can't fuck before marriage, maybe you lose me. Is it not possible that I see green with certain aspects? Well, I think most of life is a middle ground.
Okay. Do you think that there's a gender war going on?
Well, no. Hold on. We switching topics right now. Can we not just stick to this before we go to something else?
I agree with what you're saying.
Okay. So then let's go back, because you initially started this with you felt like me, Playback, a couple other groups of people were being maybe a bit disingenuous because we were trying to appeal to the mainstream. I guess the point I'm trying to relate to you is that me having been part of the pickup artist community when I was coming in as a young man, and me learning from a lot of that stuff, there was a lot from that I could take that was helpful to me. And so I always repeat this stuff. And if you go through my videos, you'll see I repeat a lot of the same shit. I never said the pick community is perfect. I said some of the shit that they taught me is fantastic. And I even repeat a lot of that stuff. But it's not because I repeat some of that stuff that I think everything is wonderful. And most of the folks who I looked up to in the pickup artist community when I was there at like age 19, 20, they grew out of it. And they tell you in later years, oh, I changed my mind about certain things because life experience, it makes me realize that certain of the things that I believed when I was younger no longer apply. I'm just saying the same could apply for a lot of other folks in regards to most things, be it the way you view voting, the way you view women, like The way I view women at 18 is not the way that I view women at 32. But have stuff you believe in, but don't make the stuff that you believe in consume you in that sense. And there's a lot of stuff they talk about reflection and pondering that you realize like, oh, okay, there's a certain sense of like, as you get older, and this is true for most people, and you're going to go through it yourself, you're going to have a better view of yourself. Almost like you're seeing yourself in the third person. You know how you play video games first person shooting all the time? Playing a third person shooter is completely different because now you got your whole body in frame. You see what it looks like when you crouch. I think as human beings, we gain more of that perspective as we get older in life if we're reflective enough. And what I used to believe at 21, I no longer believe now at 32, just because life's experiences and my own reflections realize like that's not true at all.
Maybe
like,
it's because you become more sedentary as you've gotten older. Like maybe it's because it's like you become less of that aggressive man that you were at 21. Like right now, I'm very like I'm all about my testosterone balls, manosphere shit. And then maybe you're just 32 and you're like, man, let me settle down.
You like fucking Sneako?
We all do, yeah.
You like fucking you, pussy?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that shit gets old.
No.
100%.
No.
100%. And I could point to you hundreds of players who are online right now who have videos of them telling you new pussy gets old. In fact, how about I tell you this one? And this is something even Andrew Tate says. This is something even Andrew Tate says. All right. Sex becomes overrated after time.
No, it's overrated now.
Yeah. He says new pussy. He's like, why do you think that is?
Because you get used to it. It becomes like when you eat the same food over and over again, it becomes boring. That's why you get new. That's why you get new pussy, so you spice it up. Or keep upgrading. But
guess what? After you had enough new pussy, there is no more new pussy.
There's always,
do you understand?
There's always new
pussy.
No,
you think that. After you've had a few dimes, you realize dimes ain't nothing. After you've had some baddies, you realize baddies ain't nothing.
So what do you
why do you think so many of these dudes, as they get older in life, they stop talking about this shit nearly as much?
Because they get older and they're less testosterone.
It's not even that. It's you realize like, bruv, the payout ain't worth the work in.
Because you get tired. You get older, you don't have as much energy. You get. Bleh.
It's like even if you had the energy, because it's not worth the time. You know, there's a video, and like maybe you don't give a fuck about his opinion, but
no, I do.
I thought it was great. It's one with Shaquille O'Neal, and he talks about his divorce with his first wife. And he's like talking about like how, you know, he was fucking left, right, and center, and she was giving him kids. And at one point during this period, he got caught cheating, and ended up fucking up the marriage. They get divorced, and now, you know, Shaq is, I think, closer to 50. And he says something that I thought was so telling. He says, looking back now, I realize like I was the one who fucked most of that up. And you could pull up the clip later if you ever get a chance. I'll send it to you on Discord. But he says, the most joyous moments of my life were coming home and then seeing all my kids around and then getting to spend time with them. And that divorce, going through that whole process, that really stole from me like what I realized was my biggest joy. I spend time with my nieces now. I spend time with my mom, taking her out to dinner, you know, showing her good stuff. And I realize like that's the stuff that matters for me. I've had pussy. I've had enough of it for a lifetime that I'm like, bro, if I get new one, it's not even. But when I spend time with my niece and I'm watching her like walk for the first time, or I'm seeing her say words, like that shit hits different.
So you giving up on your balls?
It's not even that. It's like, you know, I've had experiences where the pussy was just like in front of me on a platter. And I'm like, bro, I just want to sleep early today.
Yeah, you're
like,
getting tired. You're getting older. Like that's just like I'm too tired to fuck.
Well, it's. But if I was faced with the same choice, if I was to see family or things like that, I wouldn't make that same decision. What I'm trying to tell you is your priorities shift as you get older, as you start to
is
get
your priorities shifting, or is your testosterone just dropping?
No. As a man, your testosterone doesn't drop until like you're 40.
Tate's older than you, and he's still on like get pussy shit. I mean, he's talking about how it gets.
He's
boring.
not. Yeah, he talks about how it gets boring and how he's barely on it nearly as much anymore.
But every video you watch is like, I wake up and I push two bitches out of the way. Are you waking up and pushing two bitches out of the way?
Bruh. You know that he's saying a lot of that shit for shits and giggles. Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's true too.
No. Listen. If you're making money and you're making moves, you ain't got time to be with hoes all day.
No,
and I'll tell you this right.
No,
most of the day. Most of the day.
Get out of my bed. I got shit to do.
If you're making money and you're really making money, you ain't got time to be with hoes most of the day. And you don't want to because you realize that making money and being able to take care of your shit is far more rewarding. Again, you a young man. What are you, 24, 23?
23.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Be about that. Get as much pussy. Go do whatever you got to do. I'm just telling you that when you see people speak differently, it's not because, oh, they're turning into beta males or, oh, they want to be feminists all of a sudden. Life gives you experience. And as a result, it shapes a lot of the way that you think about stuff. Ask any motherfucker who got kids and talk to them about it, and they say, that's the best thing in my life. That's the most important.
And then
thing.
your wife leaves you and takes half your money, takes your house, takes your dog.
That's a separate issue. That's a separate issue.
That's not. I'm talking issue. About half of marriages end that way. Over half of marriages ended that. Like, yeah, you have the kids and everything.
I'm talking about divorced dads who have kids and tell you, I would never give up a day with my kid to go be with a hoe. He says, they'll tell you, I always prioritize my children. It's not because they became beta simps. It's because they understand what's more important in life. What I'm trying to get to you as a point is life experiences, things that come to you, be it children, be it family, be it whatever the fuck it is. It changes the way that you view priorities in life. And so every time you hear people speak from a different perspective, it's not they're betas or whatever. It's just that life has just changed them through experience. That
sounds boring. I don't want to be, when I'm 32, I want to be fucking double the bitches I'm fucking now. I want to be having a bigger house, I want to be down the Hugh Hefner shit. That's what makes you excited. That's what keeps your balls going. Like, you can't let go of that. You can't let go of your manhood at a certain age. If you give up on that, and like, oh, I like playing macaroni drawings with my kids.
You know what you sound like? You sound like a lot of the young women I know who say they just want to travel for the rest of their life and live on the beach. And then they get to 30, 35, and you know what they realize? Damn, I want a husband. I want to have kids.
No, I want to have kids too. But I also want 10 bitches in the kitchen.
Okay. And you know what? Once they have those, they realize, oh, this is the shit. I don't need to be out here in Cancun taking fucking selfies all day. Listen, it sounds great to be fucking many women.
No.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. Almost every guy.
That's not a valuable comparison. That's not a good comparison, because a woman saying she wants to travel and drink martinis in Mykonos all day, that's giving up and that's not doing anything. For me to have 10 bitches in the crib, like in bikinis serving me food, I need to constantly be getting it, because if I'm not getting it, then they can't be here. They don't respect me. So constantly having women in my life is to motivate me more to be the best man I could be. The more bitches I got, the badder bitches that are here, the more I'm going to keep on going. Women motivate you.
Okay, listen, I'm not mad at you. And like I said, I think this just comes down to a different age. So I'm not even going to try to convince you anything. All I'm going to say is this. You're going to have experiences with your friends. Y'all going to go to maybe a specific dinner. You take a trip. Maybe y'all watch a movie. Y'all having a laugh. And that's going to be a really valuable memory for you. And as you're going to get older, you're going to forget about 95% of the women that you fucked. But you're always going to remember the stuff that you spend with your family, the really beautiful moments. And so you don't have to believe me today. You don't have to believe me tomorrow. I'm just saying, if you come at a point later on in life where you start to question certain things, maybe just think back on this and just think about it. That's all. I don't think you got to agree, because you're not at that point yet in your life. I'm not mad at you.
I do agree. Like, that sounds appealing to me too. Like going and watching like a rom-com, cuddling up and she puts your legs on top and you have a candle lit. That sounds great. But nowadays, the way Western women think, they always are aiming for more. So that does sound ideal, but all of them, because of Instagram and because of stuff they're looking at, women don't want to settle as much as, at the same level that men don't want to settle. What is your general opinion on the manosphere?
My opinion on the manosphere, at least from a lot of the content creators that I've seen, I think there's a need for it, which is what I've always said. There's a need for content that kind of helps you guide young men, because we don't have any tools. I just think that a lot of the people who are doing the leading aren't very good at their job. But I also say I'm not going to be one of the people who's going to take over their spot. So I can't even knock them that hard for trying to do what they do. But sometimes I like to have a laugh at some of the goofy shit I hear. I'm like, I ain't buying that. So that's how I feel.
Your girlfriend needs to delete her Instagram?
The girlfriend, so I've had this conversation many times. My issue isn't that the girlfriend needs to delete the Instagram. My reason is just some of the reasons that they say is goofy. Like, if you want to say your girl doesn't want it, you don't want to have her Instagram because you don't want her thirst trapping or having her ass out online. I'm like, that's perfectly sensible to say you don't want your girlfriend doing that. You get what I'm saying? Me, it's the whole double speak that these guys do, where it's like, oh, my girl can be thirst trapping, but if I want to do it, it's perfectly fine. It's like, okay, yeah, if you're making millions of dollars and you're one of them high value dudes, that's fine. But most of the motherfuckers watching your shit are poor. So them rules don't apply to them. So let's talk about real people. Let's not just talk about what rich niggas do.
So do you think maybe it's not that you're being disingenuous, but that you appeal to normal people rather than trying to elevate people?
Sneako, at the end of the day, most people are never going to be filthy rich. You're the exception. You're the 1%. That's not possible
I'm not
for
filthy
everybody.
rich. I'm not rich, but like I tell my chat every day, like
You are.
I'm rich?
Whether you realize it, Sneako, you make well over 6 figures.
Yeah,
you are less than 1%.
I'm still like my student loans are being paid off this week, so technically I'm in debt.
It doesn't matter whether you're in debt. Your projected income for this year and for the next subsequent years, you are less than 1%er.
It's projected because I'm putting in the work. But right now,
I don't disagree.
On paper, I have negative money.
I'm not disagreeing with you that you didn't work hard. I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is the rules of dating that exist for you as somebody who's making a lot more money, who has a lot more flexibility, are not going to be the same rules of dating that exist for the everyday person. Do you understand that?
Okay, that's fair. But shouldn't we encourage men to strive to be high value men instead of just accepting their place on the totem pole?
No, I don't think you should be pushing people to strive to be that.
Men should be complacent?
Because here's the thing. It's one thing to say, hey, guys, if you want to get to this level, cool, congratulations. Most people are never going to get to live that life.
But they should try to. A lot of guys give, okay, but here's my problem with it. A lot of guys give up, and instead of admitting where they're at or trying to improve, they make up excuses for why. Like they'll say, the crypto guys that I'm doing videos with, they got lucky with their investments. It's like, no. You don't get lucky. Like being smart puts you in lucky positions. Everybody can get it now. The internet allows everyone to be rich. You're making that face, but money now is all numbers on your phone.
Okay, Sneako, you understand that the whole principle of rich is the whole idea of abundance, that if you have an abundance, somebody has to have less?
Yeah, but everybody watching this stream has an internet connection, so we all have the capability to get there.
We all have the capability to get there, but it's only the resources are finite. It's not possible for everybody to be filthy rich. It's not possible.
It is. It is. If they have a phone, it is. There's no excuse anymore. With a phone connection, all the information's online. All the stuff that I've learned about how to make videos, about how to make money, have been from YouTube tutorials. Everything. We all have the capability to get rich. And like I think you saying that is like encouraging complacency when, because it's getting so much harder for men, we should not encourage that behavior. Like
No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not trying to encourage people to be complacent. What I'm trying to tell you is that your paradigm is all fucked up. The idea that everyone can be rich is not backable by any fucking economist in the world. Nobody would ever say everybody could be rich. However, what I am trying to say is you don't need to be rich to lead a good life, to live a life of happiness. I don't know about you and where you've lived specifically, but I've had the luxury of living all over. Even in the States, when I go to the South, a lot of people out there aren't talking about being filthy rich. If they can have their home, have their farm, have their land, have their guns, have their wife, they're happy. Not everybody needs to be quote unquote rich to live a good life. And when you sell this paradigm to people, you're inherently making so that vast majority of your audience who buy into this will always be unhappy because they'll never be able to reach something that is not feasible for everybody.
Why is it not feasible for everybody? If we all have a phone and interconnection and we could all download Coinbase, Gemini, we could all make content, we could all, there's a million fucking ways to make money online.
I think you'd have to probably sit down with an economist for him to break down all the numbers for you.
Why?
But because you're asking me how to explain the breakdown of resources in the world and how not everybody can have an abundance. If everyone has an abundance, the word abundance doesn't even exist. Richness nearly designates that you have more than others.
Well,
you understand that?
To get rich in the first place, you need to accept the realities of the world and that things are unfair, and you need to apply yourself.
Okay.
Most people hear what you're saying. A lot of people hear what you're saying and just accept, yeah, I'm never going to be rich. And then they won't. If you think that way, you will not get rich. But if you think it's possible, I have to get rich or die trying, more likely than not, you will.
Sneako, this is like one of those things where I feel like people think everyone's the main character. Okay. No, not everyone is the main character. Some people are side characters. Some people are really good role players within a storyline. Not everyone gets to be a main character. Not everyone gets to live by the same rule. Not everyone gets to be a king, okay? There are kings, there are jesters, there are other people, but not everyone gets to live at the top. That's just not the way the world is built.
But the world for average men now is getting harder and harder. Like the average man is invisible now.
Yeah, okay. I don't disagree with that. So we can talk about that. But the solution to that is not making everyone a high value man. Even Kevin Samuels will tell you that's not even possible. God rest his soul. That's not possible for everyone to be filthy rich, which is why Kevin always talked about encouraging these women to understand the importance of a blue collar person and to be respectful of them, because the guy doing your plumbing is extremely important in society. And even though he might not be the most rich person, he still brings the ability to give you stability. His goal with what he was saying wasn't that everybody got to be rich and all these thoughts got to get with kings. No, what he was trying to say is that your standards are unreasonable and that you don't deserve that. So relax. You understand? You can't just sit there
and relax and calm down.
What I am telling them is that everyone trying to buy into this whole like I'm gonna get rich one day is making them miserable because it's not possible. So
how is it not possible? Like I don't understand. You're telling me to ask an economist, but you're also saying just give up. It's not possible, but it is. If you have a phone,
okay. So point me to one place on the society where everyone's rich. Where's the society on the planet? Not everybody
applies themselves, because look, the rules of the game now, all of capitalism is a game. And since birth, they suppress you and tell you to go into these worlds, go into dead end school, get this job here, do this, take your meds. And so instead of like realizing that they can get rich if they apply themselves, they give up. It is possible, but the game is rigged against them. So the rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
Okay. So
that's not true.
Are you saying throughout all of society and all of world history, the reason why there wasn't an entire society of rich people is because they didn't work hard enough?
Is because not because they didn't work hard enough, but they've been brainwashed to think that they need to relax and calm down, that they need to accept their place in society instead of striving for more. And the reason they think that is because the people at the top do not want those people to challenge their position. But I'm saying fuck those people, fuck them all at the top, touching kids on islands. Suck my dick. I'm gonna get there. I don't, not with the part with the kids, but I wanted my own island with some bad bitches. Okay. Fuck you getting everything, taking private jets all over the world, telling me what I can and can't do, what I should inject and what I shouldn't inject, telling us to quarantine because of some gay STD from monkeys. They're gonna keep us inside again. You know that? And now I see it on Twitter. I thought everybody was gonna think that the monkey shit was a joke, and now people are like, why are we locking down again? That mentality is why so many people aren't rich and why people think it's not possible.
So you think that if people aren't rich, they're gonna be miserable?
It's getting harder to be happy if you're an average person. Because
that's not what I asked you. I asked you, if people aren't rich, can they be happy?
They can, but they also need to be complacent to some extent. And I'm the type of guy where I need to have complete freedom to be happy. If I feel any restrictions on me, and I think a lot of men naturally feel like that. If someone's telling you what to do, there's a part of you that's being suppressed. Because men, naturally, you just want to conquer. Like I get pissed off when people have more than me, or like I see hotels and resorts, like why can't I own that? Why can't I get that?
Okay. But let's just take a couple steps back. So you agree with me that it's not because people are poor that they can't be happy, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So we're on the same page. So my prescription to people isn't that you have to aspire to be rich or aspire to be this. What I'm trying to sell folks is you can be happy regardless of your financial situation. Well, I mean, above a certain level. Obviously, if you're like struggling to make your rent every month, then obviously that's a different situation. But past like 40, 50K in most cities, not every city, you're going to be okay. 50K? So now listen, maybe not New York, okay? But if you take 50K and you go to a lot of major cities, yes, you're going to be good. Okay.
Really?
So let me just, yes. So past a certain point, what I want to discuss is what are the things that lead people to be happy outside of money? I think we have such a fixation on material goods.
You need a good relationship. You need freedom. You need to be able to do what you want and speak your mind.
When you say a good relationship, what does that mean?
A good relationship with the people around you, your friends, your family, and your woman.
Okay. All right. Women. So community, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me ask you, of the two things, let me know which was more important. Do you think it's more important for somebody to have 50K and have a good community, or for someone to have $1 million but have no community? Which one do you think is better?
50K with the community, probably yes. But
okay.
Can I respond to that? They are trying to separate community now. They're trying to divide us more than ever. You know what they did during the COVID? They said to not like discommunicate with your family who didn't take this. Don't talk to them. If someone's not wearing, don't talk to them. They try to divide us more and more. If you voted for this orange guy and not the older guy, then don't talk to him. They try to divide us more. If you don't put a black square on your Instagram, then you're racist. They try to divide us more and more. So the community is falling apart. Like so many people are so polarized because of what they believe in and their standings. And it's all encouraged from the top. They say, you need to believe in this. Like you need to put Ukraine in your bio, put this GoFam. and everyone just like is so political that there's a lack of community, and that's why I need to get out of New York. The idea is that people's worldviews are so different that there's a genuine lack of community, and especially on social media is making it worse.
So, just taking a couple steps back. So we started off at young men are really miserable and they're unhappy, right? And then we talked about income, and you agreed with me that even with 50K, it's probably better to have $50,000 a year and have a really good sense of community, family, significant other, friends, than it is for you to be extremely wealthy and have nobody around you. Right. So you put community above money. Yes?
Right. But it's almost impossible to have a good community now. As a young man with 50K, it's almost impossible.
But that's not true. That's not true. Okay, why is it impossible?
Because of how divided everybody is. Because of how they literally say stand 6 feet apart. There you go, separating community. Cover your face. I can't talk to you. Don't look at me. Put a shield over you. They're dividing people. They don't want you to have community anymore. Sit in this seat and take away the chair in the middle so you can't look at someone else.
Okay. I don't disagree that during the pandemic it's probably hard to have.
And there's another one coming. There's another. The monkey thing just started. The world. WHO just declared it.
And if it turns out to be an extended thing that we're going to deal with for many more years to come, then I think you'll have. Well, hey, we will see. And if you do, then I will concede to you that. Although I'm conceding to you. I'm saying you're right. Okay, breathe. I'm saying you're correct. If we have to continuously live in lockdown in perpetuity, where we never get to spend time with other people and be around other folks, I would agree with you that it is extremely dangerous for people and it makes it untenable to have communities. Okay?
Do you know how many people
I'm conceding to you.
Okay. Do you know how many people I talk to who are like, man, I just moved out. I got a job. I'm making money. But like, how do I make friends? Where do I talk to people? Like, I can't go to school because my school's shut down.
Okay. Well, listen, I can't speak about everything. I know you say it's all connected. So for me, it's too large in scope.
What's
so
your idea about the government? Do you trust the government?
I trust it for some things and I don't trust it for others. I think the government fucks up in some places and it does well in others. That's how I kind of view it. And so if you want to go think case by case, fine. But, government operates in different branches. It's hard to say the government. It's like saying, do you think the shoe industry is good? It's like, well, what company? Some companies are worse than others. Some of them are ethical. Some of them are not. You can't just go. I feel like when I hear you speak so broadly. I don't know what is your top. What do you think about women? What does that mean? Like, you have to be more specific. And so that's what I'm saying. Let's just focus on one thing. Okay. And then we'll go from there.
Ask me something. I've been ranting like.
Yeah. I know. You've been passionate. Yeah.
Cool.